Gaming. Welcome back to Twins Reviews, guys. My name is Zmax, and in this video I'm going to explain the basics of rotations on defense in Roller Champions. If you want some cool cosmetics in Roller Champions for free, use my friend referral code down in the description and you'll be able to pick up some cool cosmetics if you're new to the game. Now let's talk about rotations. Rotations are really important in Roller Champions, especially when you're playing solo queue. If you're playing in a team, there's going to be way more advanced rotations and strategies that teams can put together, but I just want to highlight the most basic things that you need to know when rotating so that you can start making your gameplay much more fluid and so that you can play a little bit better defense than you are now. Now, these are going to be basic things that you need to know about rotations. When you get into kind of team and ranked play, and if you really want to compete at the top level as a team, you're probably going to be building out your own rotations and your own strategies. I won't really be covering them in this video. I'm just going to be covering all the basics that you need to know to rotate by yourself, or rotate with a team of randoms, or just rotate with some of your friends, or even a team, but these are just basic things that you need to know. There are differences between rotating as a defense and rotating as an offense. I'm going to be covering specifically defense because offense, you can get a little bit more creative with the rotations. There isn't anything necessary that you need to be doing on offense. However, on defense, things get a little bit more tricky. As you can see, I'm looking down at the arena here, and you can see these numbers, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to be using these as indications as to kind of explain to you what you should be doing in each of these markings. And another important thing to know is there's a mechanic called drafting, which means if you're coming up behind a player, you're going to be gaining speed quicker. So this is something that you should keep in mind when you're chasing someone. Now, chasing is something that we definitely need to talk about because chasing is usually not the play. And here's where my first thing about rotations comes in. Open windows, am I right? If you fail a tackle in the bowl in between 1 and 2 or get tackled, you should not be rotating and chasing the player with the ball in the 2-3 straight. This is because most likely you're simply not going to catch up. So the big rotation play is to go the other way clockwise and try to meet the player on the opposite bowl in between 3 and 4, or maybe on the straight right in front of the goal. Usually this is going to happen to 2 players on the defensive end. Here is where another advanced rotation comes in. You're always gonna want to push one player up to meet the guy with the ball in between 3 and 4, and leave one player in front of the goal to goal keep. So essentially what you're doing is, if you're missing tackles in the first bowl in between 1 and 2, you're going to want to go backwards clockwise, and you're going to want to send one defensive player to the 3-4 bowl, and you're going to want to keep one defensive player at the goal for the interception. This is probably the most important rotation that you're going to need to nail down when playing ranked or quick play, because chasing is going to be probably the downfall of your team. Because simply it's just not too viable. If the player with the ball is just too fast, it's really going to be hard to catch up. But if you go the opposite direction, that's going to give you a bigger advantage on tackling and saving the ball before the shot comes in. Now let's say you're playing solo queue and you don't have anyone to communicate with. It's better to keep 2 players under the goal than keep none players under the goal. You're going to be much better off at putting 2 players, yourself and your teammate, in front of the goal and not send one down to 3-4 to make the tackle, because sometimes miscommunication can lead to having no players in front of the goal. So it's better to have 2 players that are not really communicating in front of the goal than none. You always have to remember that probably the quickest way to get back to the opposition is going to be going backwards. That's because you don't have to play any chasing games. You pretty much can just uppercut up the wall and get enough speed to get into position to intercept the ball, or to meet the offensive player in the bowl of 3-4, or maybe on the straight right in front of the goal. This probably isn't even groundbreaking stuff for a lot of people, but I think it's really important to get this concept down so that you prevent yourself from chasing and maybe start implementing moving backwards. And this also you can do this on offense as well. If you have the ball, always know that you can go backwards. It's going to really improve your offensive play because realistically, you have about 7 minutes to play. So use that time, go backwards, get some speed until pushing forward into the opposition of players. If there's 3 players in front of you, simply go backwards. Maybe you can pass the ball to a teammate that's right behind you. When playing offensively, usually having 2 players, one with the ball and one supporting player close to each other for passes is going to be the best play. And as a defensive unit, make sure you don't always pile on 3 players on one, because that's going to leave a lot of passing lanes for the offensive player, so that is something to keep in mind when you're playing defense. And that's pretty much the end of the video. I know it's nothing crazy and nothing groundbreaking, but realistically that is going to be the most important thing on defense to improve your gameplay. If you start to get really good at this and maybe forming a team, then creating custom strategies or tactics on rotation is going to be even better than this, but honestly for starters, this is a great place to start and practice. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment what you want to see more, or maybe a rotation thing that I didn't talk about, and make sure to subscribe, and we really appreciate everyone that shows the support on these videos. We read all the comments, myself and Nax, so thank you so much for all the support. With that being said, I'm going to go keep making other videos and grinding the content because thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.